First, I have to find sell it. To testify in motivated. Yeah,
But you know, for me, wasn't something I did. Only because one day I did it. It's just a great sentence.
No, I think you should mention it to make sure it works.
yes.
Next time, come prepared.
Yes. That's here. Wow.
No.
That is my point. Well, no, I like this. Multiple. You might look at the
Seven o'clock, I call to order the Woodstock Town Board meeting of May 21st, our business meeting. First order is to stand and pledge the flag. Just a quick reminder that it is election day at school, for the various school boards, so if you haven't voted yet, I believe the polls were open until 9 o'clock, and I know in Frontier, the voting is located in all the schools, the various schools, and I assume Kingston and so these are the same. With that, I've got a couple of resolutions. Be resolved to accept minutes for meetings held on April 23rd, 2024, and May 14th, 2024. Second. All in favor? Aye. Be resolved to accept the town clerk's report. Second. All in favor? Aye. Be resolved to authorize payments of vouchers in the amount of $419,829.02.
Second.
All in favor? Discuss.
I'm interested in finding out more about invoice 104534, Environmental Lab Works Incorporated. Is this
The voucher number again?
104534 for $450? I know that there are elevated levels of PFOS in the municipal water system, almost exceeding the EPA levels. And I want to know if this Environmental Lab Works is for that, and if it is not, will there be more testing?
So the answer to the question is, I'm not sure. I doubt that it's for that, because that we are doing more testing. We stepped up the testing protocol. but the test only went in, the health department had said, wait a couple of months. So Larry took the sample a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, could be 3 weeks now. I doubt that they've billed us for this yet, but there will be a voucher at some point. I expect.
I know that we tested in
result-
2021 for PFOS and it was 0.
Yeah.
And I know that in
22,
22, it was 0.86.
yes,
And I know that this past year in 23, it's 3.48.
in one of the wells, correct. And that is the well that we just brought online, so that they're unsure whether it's an issue that's growing. And both the state health department and the county health department's recommendation was wait a couple months, take another test, and we'll just keep testing to look for a trend.
So when will the new test be available and when will we know whether or not it's safe to drink the water?
Well, at this point, it's under the level, so it is safe. As soon as we get the results, we'll publicize it. Typically, they take between 5 and 6 weeks. So again, I think it's for 2 to 3 weeks. So
The
we're about
EPA,
halfway
the
there.
EPA doesn't say that because it's under the level, it's safe to drink. That's just the way that they measure it.
Correct.
So it's not safe to drink at 3.48.
That's,
Can you just let the town know
Yeah.
when this is going to be? This is a health issue, Supervisor. This
It's a
is
safety
not,
issue.
this is not anything other than a health issue.
and we
Please
are,
let us.
we are following the guidelines. You know, it's interesting though, if you were so concerned, how come you haven't come in to see me about this? All the rest, I mean, this.
Bill, I'm right here right now. What, come on.
Every
But-
meeting, we're
I'm
bringing
right
it up.
here.
Every
You
meeting,
you haven't, you haven't.
Ask
voted
me
something?
every meeting, we're
All right,
bringing
in
it up.
any event, all in favor of the.
No.
No,
No.
so we'll be
What
having
is
a
that, they're
special,
not paying the,
they're not paying the bill, so we'll be having a special meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock to be vote on this. Here resolved to authorize transfers per transfer sheet. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public to vote that.
I have 2 people. 3 people. You mind if I send? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should take.
Okay, Jackie first.
John Lovely.
John?
Okay, so thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bill.
Thank you so much.
I have been tracking the annual, I've been looking at the annual report for the last years, back to 2016. And I'm not gonna go through these numbers because I can't say I really understand them, but the one thing I want to point out is the what's called the unassigned fund balance. That's the lower thing on the chart. And what that is at the end of the year, the money that's left over that's not assigned, that's not for a particular purpose yet, it will be assigned, but not yet. You can see that back in 2015, it was about $500,000 and it goes up and down. And last year we ended with about $2 million of our money that's unassigned. And so I think the town board will be handling that in the next month or two. We'll be assigning that money to some purpose. And I know that there's a master plan coming for Andy Lee Field, and whatever's done, whatever they come up with, it's going to cost a lot of money to do whatever they want to do, whatever we want to do with Andy Lee. And I would urge you to put a good portion, maybe all of that $2 million into a fund to do Andy Lee Field. It might not even cover it, I don't know. And in particular, I play softball there, so I'm interested in ball fields, but in general, the whole field, I don't know, I might be in the minority on this, but I think the whole field needs to be dug up and redone because it's so lumpy. It's got holes. You can sprain your ankle just walking across the grass. I urge everybody to try it. And I wouldn't run across the grass because I'd be afraid of spraining my ankle. And so I think that's going to cost a lot of money, and I'll be in there, you know, with the master planning process and kind of urge, let's dig the whole thing up and make it all really nice turf so people can enjoy the field.
We did get a nice load of infield soil there. Yesterday.
Oh, good, good. We were talking about that on Sunday.
Got to
Thanks
that
a lot.
Chris Bailey.
Okay, my name is Chris Bailey. I'm a member of Woodstockers United for Change and Airbnb's group. We have a public be heard, but I'm not confident about this at all because we just stand up here, we spout about what we want to spout about, and you guys just sit there. What the hell happens to it? What does it do anything? Do you actually listen to us, or you just let us mouth off and then go and do what you want to do anyway? What you said tonight about the PFOS testing is the most I've ever heard from you guys on any of these issues. What I would like to see is more town halls, not these town board meetings where you just pack us on the end. I would like a town hall where you make a presentation and we can have a discussion. Last week, the music thing was very well attended. However, there was never a presentation about what the changes, the proposed changes are. Everybody's just talking about either what they've read or what they're on social media, or maybe if they're lucky, they can plow through the Woodstock town site and find some information. But it's always left up to us to dig for it. We want more communication. We want to know what's going on. And now we've got this PFOS stuff. We want to know what's going on. If the town is going to do some extra testing, tell us, rather than just let us wonder about it. And so that's about it. That's all I've got to say, really. We need better communication.
Stephanie Kaplan.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Kaplan. What I wanted to tell you all is my mother was the most important person in the world to me, and I just lost her. And I lost her to cancer. And the reason I bring this up is because we have very concerning water sample, what PFAS in our water, okay? You guys have, maybe you're doing some resampling, but we have no way to know if what you're doing is adequate. There's no communication with us. It is unconscionable that you have not communicated with the town to let the townspeople who are on town water know about this problem. The only reason anyone knows about it is because our group has gone onto social media to start to try to spread the word. But nothing has come from our town board members about the fact that there is this very troubling rise in PFAS. We don't know what you're doing to try to help us. We should be doing everything possible to get those samples tested as ASAP to find out where we really stand and how widespread the problem is. You have never gone to have any kind of meeting to tell us as the citizens of this town, what can we do to protect ourselves? Have a meeting, bring in Catskill Mountain Keeper, bring in the hydrogeologists. Talk to us about what appropriate testing is, what kind of filters can we use? Is it safe even if we filter our drinking water? Can we brush our teeth? Is it safe to cook with our water? Is it safe to shower with our water? I started with talking about my mother because the bottom line is this is not a political issue, folks. This is a human right. It's a health issue. Clean water is that. And you guys are not either stepping up, coming forward, doing what you have to do to protect us, which is what your job is. I don't want any of you to have to experience what I just went through with my mom. The result of these kinds of toxic chemicals in our water is cancer. I don't want you to have the loss that I just had. Do something to protect us. And while we're at it, if none of you are concerned about the personal loss, let's talk about the financial issues for our town. Yes, it's expensive to clean this up. okay? And yes, it probably stems from what's going on at Shady, and you've done nothing about that. But I know we can't make that definitive link. I know there's no science to back that up, but you're not doing source testing yet. So you very well see a link. We have to think it's suspicious that we have contaminated chemicals at one end of Woodstock and an enormous rise in PFAS in the other part of Woodstock, okay? Is there a link? I'm sure we're gonna find one, but even if we don't, then we have two environmentally compromised sites that you're doing nothing about, okay? Let me tell you, the lawsuits that you are making us pay for to fight is going to be far less, is gonna be far more money than what we need to cut.
You want me to go first? Hi, so my name is Luke Hunsberger, and I'm a resident of Shady. And we've been concerned about this illegal dump in Shady for 4 years, waiting for it to get cleaned up. You all know the history. Recently, there was an article in the Times Union about Letitia James forcing Corollas and his wife to remove all of their, well, not all of theirs, many of their illegal dump sites, to clean them up in Ulster County or face an $8 million penalty. And we would like the town of Woodstock to get on board and say to Letitia James, we want you to help us out in Shady. That's one avenue where there's clearly money and power. And it just seems like that's a reasonable thing for the town of Woodstock to do. The other thing is, as was just mentioned, we've got these chemicals up in Shady, and we've got similar chemicals in the water now. We need to establish whether or not there's a link, what kind of testing. We've been drinking bottled water now for a long time. It's $8 for a 5-gallon thing, and we're going through it at a rapid rate, you know? And so, you know, it's expensive for us. And I guess that's it. We just want clean water, which is one of the reasons we came to Shady in the first place. Clean water, clean air, green land, and we'd like to keep it that way, if possible.
Luke said pretty much everything I want. I also want to say, I'm Julie Zabo, from 81 Reynolds Lane, from Peckwood Stocks Water. We've been trying to get Shady cleaned up now for 4 years. And so we have asked the town board to help us. They haven't. But actually now I'm asking the town board, I'm going to give out, these are Letitia James, all of Letitia James' contacts, her email, her Twitter, her phone number. And actually I have anybody else. Please write letters. This week, we, as the neighbors, we've already written several letters, and if you guys could follow up, anybody else wants one of these? So please write it this week if you can. Oh. What I don't understand is that the $8 million settlement, $8 million settlement that was just $8 million payment that Crowley's is supposed to pay. The stuff, the town of Woodstock took Crowley's to court, and there's established evidence in court statements that the stuff that's in that dump was brought to Shady. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
So why can't we get some money from somewhere to clean it up?
Why weren't we part of it?
I would encourage everybody to write the DEC,
Yeah, actually, that's our next thing. Basil Sagos. I recently,
Basil, he's gone.
he's gone.
There's a new interim and he's supposed to be made head. So, you know, I don't normally address people and call them to be heard. But I can tell you that since about May of 2020, I've been on to the Attorney General to include the town of Woodstock
Yeah.
in the
Why
elections.
aren't they included?
I can't even get a civil answer back. I don't know.
I met with Lem Schrolovich, who works for Attorney General Letitia James. He runs the Environmental Enforcement Division.
Why haven't they?
And he told me that it was because Supervisor Bill McKenna can clean it up using the town of Woodstock's law.
But that's
It is true. That's what he told you.
It's
That's what he told us.
not-
It doesn't matter,
It's
it's still
absolutely
fees,
true.
that we
Absolutely
should
true.
try to get.
Women person goes a long way. Okay, Julie, thank you.
Right, anybody else want to write?
So you got it?
Is it Ashley? I'm Ashley. Ashley Petty? Yeah. Okay.
My name is Ashley Petty. I moved here when I was 5 years old. I'm now 40. I lived here for 35 years of my life. I've raised 2 children. I've worked at multiple restaurants and places throughout town my entire life. I care very much about our town and our residents and our children. This town is everything to me. My mom moved us here because we wanted to live in a peaceful mountaintop area with fresh air and fresh water outside of a city. And my entire life, I've never really had too many issues with the town. I actually didn't pay much attention because I assumed I lived in my hometown and that I'm safe here. And then it was recently brought to my attention, the levels of these contaminants, the PFAS and PFOS that are in the water. And the EPA guideline sets it at a max of 4, when in reality, we want 0. The side effects that come along with these chemicals, there's a scroll of them. It's pregnant women and young children are especially susceptible to these chemicals. Woodstock Elementary School is on municipal. I would like to believe that I can trust our town to do the right and ethical thing by telling the public and being transparent, because that's what doing the right thing is. There's so many people, 2,500 people that are drinking this water, and they're exposing themselves to these harsh chemicals and potentially getting sick. And isn't it your job as a town supervisor to let people know what they are drinking?
Yeah,
That's all we want is communication.
There is a town in New York where something similar to this happened. They had contaminants in their water. And their town supervisor sent out an alert to the public, suggested that people test their water to make sure that their water was safe, and then told the town what their plan of action was and the residents. We are going to test. These test results will be done by this person and this person. And so I don't understand why our town that has so many people that care about the environment and love nature, how Woodstock, New York, of all places, isn't having transparency in a town like this.
yeah.
It's mind-boggling. We're not even afraid to begin, we're in Woodstock News. And it's wrong.
Yeah. So you're
Sorry.
Sarah?
Hey. I have no voice really right now, and Sarah Yanish, I didn't really plan on speaking, so. The first thing I'll bring up that I brought up so many times, I've seen faces. We do have a communication problem in our town, in our office, and I think that's the root of a lot of this, and also having better attendance at these meetings. So we can hear more about other issues besides music and sound. So I'm glad to see some people returning from the last meeting, which I think went really well. So thanks. But we see tonight there's poor communication. So, but also to hear that Bennett is bringing something up for the first time. I can tell you that I've had many email communications with all of you. I get responses from some of you and they do not even match. So we don't even, the fact that you guys don't even know when what the left hand is handing to the right, that's concerning. But right now we're sitting on $5,000 still in our budget for composting, but we wouldn't have any place to put that compost pile when we're talking about our water crisis that's only increasing and we have no information because our town has no information. when our board cannot communicate, correct? So this is alarming, and now I've heard nothing, there's no minutes about some Cheez-Its, whatever, cheese in down the road that's going to be popped. I go to these planning board meetings, where's the minutes? Because wouldn't that need a permit? Is this another, ain't no permit? That happened down in Shady with that water? What water are they being served? Cause I'd like a warning in every single restaurant and every single business, telling me what the hell I'm drinking and everyone else, especially the children. And, you know, no, but we're consistently told to email our board. So I'd like to understand what is up with my FOIL request that I won't bring up necessarily publicly right now, but I've had to go as far as 30 emails with disinformation, misinformation, and then just a little hideout. And then I'm told to FOIL request something, but I just asked for what the gist is of what was going on with that clipboard. And I can't even get that, but I got a FOIL request in, which is still unanswered. How far do you go? I have to go to higher agencies. How much time do you want to waste? This is a waste of time and taxpayer money that I'm standing here. It's a waste of my time. And I'm sorry, Stephanie, for your loss. I just went through one too. So this is hard for me to stand up here and what Ashley said about trusting our community. It's really hard to trust a community that is literally poisoning us. Well, we are now paying additional attorneys, that is taxpayer funded too, it increases our rent, the taxes are unbelievable, and I would like to see those town halls that you promised us.
Move to
This
adjourn.
civil offense isn't working anymore for me. I
Now,
want to
see you all at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Anula.
Yeah, see, this is what we're talking about.
I didn't get up.